In the last episode of the Ajax Career Mode, we had two significant transfers out of the club, the biggest being David Neres to Manchester United for 100 million. We improved our squad depth by making three signings: Montiel from River Plate, Pedrinho from Benfica, and Frimpong from Celtic. We had our best start to a season so far, for the first time finishing top of our Champions League group. Hey, what's going on everyone? Flick here. Welcome back to another episode of our FIFA 21 Ajax Career Mode. This is episode number 6 and the final episode of this series where we'll be trying to win the treble. And I think we have as good of a chance as ever to do so. We're currently sitting top of the Eredivisie table. We also finished first in our Champions League group for the first time in this career mode, and we've received a favorable draw in the League Cup. As far as any additional signings go in this career mode, we have contemplated the idea of potentially bringing back some former Ajax players, specifically ones that took part in their 18-19 Champions League campaign. I think the big names that stand out are the likes of De Jong, De Ligt, and Van de Beek. However, we have decided to stick with realism in this save, and because they are too high of an overall and playing for pretty big European clubs, we're not going to look to bring them in. But I do have an idea in mind to bring back one former Ajax player to maybe have him play a role in our Champions League campaign this season. With this being the final episode of the Ajax save, that means a new career mode series is on the horizon. Next Gen FIFA should be launching on the same day that this video comes out, and that means I'll start recording the next series for the channel, hopefully having that for you all out this coming weekend. But the focus today will of course be on the Ajax career mode. If you have enjoyed this series, feel free to leave a like on the video. It's a massive help to the channel, and also consider subscribing if you haven't yet. We're trying to reach 30,000 subscribers by the end of 2020. We have managed to build an impressive squad over the course of these 3 seasons with Ajax, and while I don't think there is necessarily an area that we need to improve in our starting 11, there is one player that I'd like to replace in our substitutes. And while Van Bergen seems to play extremely well in any Eredivisie competitions, he has been very inconsistent in Champions League. I need to make sure that we have a reliable option here in case Promes needs to be substituted off, or even if the worst case scenario happens and Promes gets injured, we need a higher rated player for our left winger position. And because our transfer budget is not an issue and we are looking to bring back a former Ajax player, I believe Justin Kluivert will be the perfect signing for us. Some may argue that Kluivert left Ajax too early in that transfer going to Roma. He's now on loan at RB Leipzig, and for some reason in career mode, that's the permanent club he's at. And with him being only 23 years old, you can't deny the potential that he still has. We completed this signing for 25 million, not too much more than his market value, agreeing to a rotational player on a 4-year deal worth 23.5 grand a week. Because he will be playing as a left winger for us, we stuck him on a development plan and actually saw an increase right away in his overall rating, already proving to be a better option than Van Bergen. We received a couple of interesting offers for some of our players, the likes of Liverpool trying to bring in Luis Suarez, and even Southampton trying to sign Tadic. But I think the most interesting of them all was this offer for Kudus from Manchester United, 172.5 million. I didn't even realize they had that much of a transfer budget to work with, but regardless, we declined all of these offers, and because this is the final episode of the career mode, we didn't actually have any players leaving the club in January. We will still set up 3 new scouting networks though, the typical one in the Netherlands for 6 months looking for any type of player, a network in Serbia for 6 months looking for an attacker, kind of looking for a Dusan Tadic role, and finally a physically strong player in Germany for 6 months, because I have had a couple of German players over the last few seasons. Essentially, this is going to be it, the squad that will represent us going into the final episode of this career mode. One thing to note though, Kluivert's still working on his development plan at the time of me recording this screenshot, so he's still a 78 rated left midfielder. But as you might expect, we've at least got Champions League as well as the Eredivisie to feature in the gameplay portion of this episode. We may potentially showcase some Oranje Becker action if we can reach the final of that competition. Our path to the final of the Champions League may just be a difficult one, as we will match up against Manchester City in the round of 16. They featured in the semi-final of the competition last year. And while they did lose out to Liverpool, it looks like they're going back to their roots, transferring in Jesus once again after initially letting him depart for PSG. But we do have our work cut out for us, as we did lose the away leg 2-0. This is going to be even more difficult than the match we had against PSG last season, because we had the advantage of playing an away match, whereas this time we are playing at home for the gameplay, and we probably need to hang on to a clean sheet. Straight after kickoff, we knew the importance of scoring an early goal, and while we're still going to be patient with our build-up play, we are going to look for the right opportunity, as Montiel, proving to be an effective signing in Season 3, is going to send the perfect cross into Suarez. Although he's dropped a couple in his overall ratings this season, you cannot deny his goal-scoring ability, especially inside the 18-yard box. Now that we have scored an early goal, we need to try to build upon that, as Manchester City are surely going to push forward players and score that crucial away goal. A couple of missed chances here, as this was a good one from Antony, unfortunately saved by Ederson, and now it's Promes from the left side. When in doubt, play it to Suarez, and again, very similar to the first goal, except from the opposite side, it's going to be a finesse shot finding the back of the net. This is the role that our striker plays for Ajax, creating a lot of chances for the players around him, but also bearing the opportunities that are given. Now that this match is level on aggregate, it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out, whether the momentum will shift back towards Manchester City like it did in the first leg, or whether we can continue increasing the goals in this match and hopefully increasing our lead, as a chance denied by Ederson, a good kick save by the Brazilian. And following that missed chance, I decided to make a substitution featuring Kluivert for the first time in this save. I feel like a high impact sub like him will make the difference and offer a bit more energy and pace on the wing. It is going to be Kluivert, who dribbles inside the box, decides to go solo on this one, and again, it was a huge save by Ederson, as that ricocheted a couple of times off the woodwork. But now in the 84th minute, it's going to be all us as we look to find the winner and not force extra time. A missed chance, in all honesty, by Kudus, and Antony was just a margin offside, but we will have one final chance for us to move forward here as we win back possession. Kluivert starting the counterattack, finding Antony. It's Klaassen pushing forward from the center mid position, again finding Antony, and he'll choose to go with his weak foot and go cross goal. It's taken a while for Antony to break into our starting 11, but now that he's here, he's making the most of his chances. Not only offering a lot of flair and growth because he has such high potential, but also stepping up in key moments like this one, pushing us forward to the quarterfinals of the Champions League. As if we haven't played against them enough this season, it's again Manchester United who we will face in the quarterfinal of the competition. We matched up against them in the Super Cup at the start of the year and also in our own group stage. Again, you'll see some rotation in their midfield, but no sign of Neres, as Berardi will once again feature as their starting right midfielder. The away leg ended in a 2-1 loss, and it could have been much worse in all honesty. Rashford's penalty kick was saved in the 84th minute. We've seen time and time again that Manchester United are difficult to break down defensively, mostly because Dean Henderson has pulled off some incredible saves in the previous fixtures, but with Dean Henderson out of the lineup in this one, I felt like it was time for us to open up the scoring much earlier, as just 9 minutes in, it is Kudus who nets our first goal of the match on one of our signature counterattacks. I feel like I reiterate this pretty often in this series, but if you can score the opening goal, especially on ultimate difficulty, it opens up the chance creation and it makes it a whole lot easier to score goals. We will get a second courtesy of a first-time shot from Antony. Continuing from his goal-scoring form against the other Manchester club, we'll look to continue that here. We're still just 23 minutes in as another chance will open up. It's Suarez finding Schultz, who will return the pass to our Uruguayan striker. Saved well by Maximiano, and a shot deflecting off of the post there, but this is a scramble inside the box. Initially saved again, but it just kept on falling back towards us. It's Veerman who eventually does get our third goal. It just seemed like luck was on our side today. Definitely one of the most obscure goals that I've scored so far in this career mode. And to be honest, one of the strangest goals I've scored so far in FIFA 21. But you need to make the most of the opportunities that are presented to you and try to score some good goals as well in the process. It was some nice hold-up play by Suarez to set this one up. Another goal from Antony, who really is finding his form later on in this career mode. Now it's going to be Kluivert finding Traore, some quick passing, and the eventual square pass to Antony to get his hat trick, making it 5 on the day for us. We were scoring goals for fun, and when we find this sort of form, it's very difficult for our opponents to beat us. Not to mention, we're hanging on to a lot of clean sheets, especially as this career mode has progressed. It's difficult to gauge whether I've just gotten a feel for these Ajax tactics or whether the gameplay updates have made ultimate difficulty with competitor mode too easy. We'll have to see if our good form in the Champions League will carry over to success in the Netherlands, as the Oranje Beker has been a competition that we have not managed to reach the final to this point. But now we will be matching up against AZ. We're very familiar with them as an opponent, and they seem to have kept most of their high potential players. Stengs, Boadu, and Koopmeiners still featuring in their starting lineup. No sign of Wijndal, though, at the left back position. While this is one of the smallest trophies, purely in terms of size, that we'll look to add to our cabinet, it is still one that I'm trying to win. This is our path that we've taken to the final. And with us playing at home, we're trying to give Ajax fans as good of a match as possible, even if AZ are a respectable opponent. We've made it a point to rotate our side for these Oranje Beker fixtures and also feature a younger starting 11. Each one of these players in our starting lineup is 23 years or younger, but it is Traore to score the first goal of the match. There's something about us scoring straight after kickoff for the second time in this episode. But while our path to victory may be easier, it is not for certain because AZ still showed some signs of promise. A good distribution at the back from Vlaco Dimos as we look to counter. It's Antony again, breaking through the defense, taking a couple of heavy touches. He just has so much confidence right now, again with one of those finesse shots to the far post. I think a lot of you can relate that once you figure out how to use a certain player in career mode to perfection, the goals certainly come. This is an unfortunate deflection here. Koopmeiners having the ball rebound him a couple of times, and Boadu will finish the chance, making it 2-1. I'm still surprised Boadu hasn't left AZ yet. We were considering transferring him in, but we kind of expected other European clubs to at least submit an offer, but that doesn't seem to be the case. Regardless, though, we will make it 3-1, courtesy of a goal from Kudus. Every time we seem to score a goal, though, AZ answered right back. Again, it's Koopmeiners setting up this chance for Boadu. This time, it is well saved on the near post by Vlaco Dimos, and the ensuing effort also falls just wide. Now we're in the second half, and it's Antony coming to a stop, courtesy of that fake shot, and that's probably my favorite skill move that we've done so far in this career mode. The complete stop to a rainbow flick just works so well this year. But now it's Traore trying to continue increasing this scoreline. No mistake about it, we'll make it 4. Once again proving that if we decide to give Traore minutes, goals will follow. A couple substitutions later, we'll feature Bande once again. He set up a good chance in the last episode, also in the cup. And as a result of the pass, it went to Bernabé and a good cross sent in to Traore. I would say this was the best goal of the match. And I have to admire the finishing that Traore offers. Despite his fairly low rating, the goals he scores are incredible. One of the unique things about career mode this year is dynamic potential, and even to an extent, some players just seem to outplay their rating. That seems to be the case in every FIFA, but maybe even more so this year, as I don't think I've had a player like Traore score as many goals as he had, but a unrelentless press will lead to a chance for Van Bergen. A player that I had higher hopes for, in all honesty, for this career mode, but he seems to be garnering more attention. Although not too much Ultimate Team content is featured on the channel, that may change in the future. I saw Van Bergen did pick up one of those special cards, so that's always cool to see. Regardless, though, we're going on a tangent. It will be finally an Oranje Beker victory for us. Both the League and Champions League have proved to be no problem. We were able to secure victories in those competitions within 2 seasons. And I'm glad that we are able to, at the very least, say that we won all the competitions we were eligible for in this career mode. Now the main objective is to try to go for the treble. We'll be featuring a little bit of League and Champions League fixtures for the later stages of this gameplay. But for now, let's celebrate this Oranje Beker victory. And it's going to be none other than Nelson to lift the trophy, one of the few players that offers the leadership trait in our squad. Again, I want to shout out the contributions y'all have left in the comments section suggesting this idea to feature a youth squad in this season, and it proved to pay off. You can see from the calendar that we have our semi-final fixture in the Champions League finalized. It will be against Hertha Berlin. However, we need to turn our attention back to the league as we look to lift our 3rd consecutive Eredivisie title in this career mode. Once again, I think we've already mathematically won the title, but because the trophy celebration happens on these home fixtures, we will focus this match on Feyenoord. We actually featured Feyenoord in the last episode as we had to defeat them to advance in the League Cup, but it's interesting that we now have another opportunity to play them on our trophy celebration day. But with the Champions League still being the main emphasis for the remainder of the season, I have decided to rotate the side. That didn't stop Kluivert from nearly scoring an incredible goal. Again, the rainbow flick leading to a volley, but well saved by the Feyenoord keeper. It didn't take long for us, though, to set up another chance. Now it's going to be Traore. Again, turning like a bus, but in all the right ways. His playstyle in game reminds me a lot of some of Lukaku's older cards in FIFA. I'm talking like FIFA 11, FIFA 12 for any of you that have been playing the game for a while. And as we move into future installments of FIFA and even the later stages of FIFA 21, I hope we continue to see improvements to Traore's status. I think he's already shown so far in the Eredivisie that he can net a lot of goals. I believe he was named Player of the Month for the entire league just a couple of months ago. And he certainly has been one of the players of this career mode, stepping up in Season 3 and pulling off some amazing runs like this one. We may have been fortunate for that chance to have fallen for him, but you give him the opportunity in front of goal, and more times than not, he's going to find the back of the net. Even here, despite being up by 3, we just kept on going, and I wasn't trying to solo Traore out to pad his numbers, but chances just kept on falling to him, and he made the most of them. We're 33 minutes into the match. Now it's going to be Kluivert setting up a perfect ball into space, and you guessed it, it's going to be 5 for Traore. We are just in the first half, and I might need some fact checking in the comments section, both in terms of, like, I don't know, how quickly someone has managed to score a goal in a Eredivisie match, but also the number of goals scored, because Traore seems to be approaching the record. He'll make it 6. Thankfully, Feyenoord seemed to figure out some sort of tactics to slow down our attack, because there's a bit of a gap in between these goals. Regardless, though, it will be 7 for us in the 63rd minute. We'll see some signs of life from Feyenoord trying to break the clean sheet. Vlachodimos attempting to distribute out of the back. Unfortunately, it does lead to a chance. However, he makes up for it with a very good save on the number 6. I think it would be appropriate for us to start an Excel sheet to track any records that we make in this career mode, because this match definitely ranks up there as the most goals that we managed to score. Certainly the most goals by a single player. That's going to be 8 for Traore, and I'm happy to say that was the final goal that was scored in this match. We're finally calling for full time, and that means we will finally celebrate our 3rd consecutive Eredivisie title. Outside of maybe the first season, it was never really in question whether we would be able to be the top team in the league. Champions League has certainly been the bigger challenge for us in this career mode, but we still need to always show up on the day. In this particular case, it was no contest, but I think there have been some entertaining Eredivisie matches so far in this career mode. I think it's only appropriate that one of Ajax's future stars, Gravenberch, will lift the league trophy this time around. I try to rotate it as much as possible because so many players have played a key role in this save. We've already featured the likes of Onana, Tadic, and Blind in previous seasons for the trophy celebration, so I thought it would be good to give some of our younger players a chance. Now that we have secured the double and completed our competitions in the Netherlands, we can put our full attention towards the Champions League as we try to go back-to-back. Hertha Berlin are one of those teams that are a bit surprising to see in the semi-final of the Champions League, but to be fair, they do have some high potential players, and they seem to consistently make this sort of appearance across multiple career modes. Some new signings will also feature in their side. They have signed the American Tyler Adams in the midfield and also brought in Gundogan from Manchester City. I do still think that this was a favorable matchup. We could have certainly had more difficult competition as we won the away leg 1-0. You all know the drill. Just a few minutes after kickoff, we're already going on the offensive. It's Promes sending in a cross and Kudus to finish it. Usually it's Suarez in this sort of position. We have decided to even rotate our starting 11 around, giving Traore the nod because he's in such great form, and I see no reason to change that. If a tactic is working out for us, we may as well try to see it out for the rest of the season. We nearly double our lead and turn our aggregate lead into 3. However, it's a missed chance from Antony. Maybe the fact that we've been resting him hindered his form. And although we are off to a good start in this tie against Hertha Berlin, I still feel like missed opportunities may end up costing us, as they do manage to get one back, cutting our lead in half. It's going to be one of their fairly new additions, Tussar, joining them in January of 2020. It was Traore who sparked the counterattack for our first goal, distributing the ball out wide to Promes, trying to get a goal of his own now, but saved well by the Hertha goalkeeper. We keep it in play though, and eventually Traore will get a second chance, and this time he makes the most of it. We'll try our best to keep building this lead and make sure that Hertha doesn't have a contest. Some interesting play here as we approach the end of the first half. Areola with a bit of hesitation distributing the ball out of the back, and as a result we will end up winning back possession, and some quick passing will lead to a Kudus goal. It's a brace for him to make it 4-1 on aggregate. A relatively quiet start to the second half will eventually lead to an opportunity for our opponents. Saved well initially by Flickiify. You guys know that we need to feature at least one good save from him in every episode, and we'll even make it 2 there as the double save keeps our lead at 3 on aggregate. A little bit of luck as the free kick does hit the post and the rebounding effort falling into Flickiify's hands. We're pressing very hard though, as fairly late in the match, 80 minutes in, they do manage to get one back and make things 4-2 on aggregate. With this one winding down, we will play the ball out wide, and it's Kluivert coming on as a substitute and will draw a penalty kick. We've missed a couple of consecutive ones, and we'll look to change that here, as we do have a few options for set piece takers. We'll decide to go with our experienced veteran Klaassen, and for once, I don't aim for the bottom corners. We tried to go for the top right, ended up somewhere in the middle, still finding the goal though. Ultimately, all that matters is we got the win, and maybe even more importantly, we are able to keep our momentum that we've been generating throughout the Champions League as we look to go into the final. As much as I try to feature variety in these episodes, it seems like the Champions League has featured a lot of repeat opponents. We'll again match up against Liverpool in the final, although to be fair, last year's Champions League final was a pretty entertaining fixture going all the way to extra time. As we walk onto the pitch for what will be the final match of this career mode series, I had a lot of different feelings going into this fixture, kind of thinking back on all of the players that have featured for us in this save, and although it was only a 3-season career mode, I think we were able to pack a lot of action into the save. From what I remember, the last time we played against Liverpool, we didn't make the most of our chances early on, and as a result, it was a closer fixture than it should have been. That was not the case today, however, as Traore will open up the scoring, continuing his goal-scoring form in what may be the most important match of the career mode so far. Due to an injury for Veerman, we had to look at other options for the center mid position. Luckily, Klaassen has a knack for scoring goals in the Champions League. It was him that put us ahead in extra time last season, and he will also give us the 2-0 advantage here as Liverpool look to answer back. It's Mo Salah on the finesse shot. Flickiify again with one of his signature saves, pushing that one out of play. But this is where Liverpool are most dangerous. When they're down a few, their press is unbelievable, and Fabinho will cut the deficit in half in the 31st minute. However, if you can find your outlet passes on the wing, chances will certainly open up. It's Anthony here who has to choose between going solo or trying to find the pass in the middle. We did decide to go with a pass, however that was denied twice, first by the Liverpool defender, the second time by Alisson. We're into the second half though, as Promes decides to square this across, distributed out of the back by Liverpool, and we will continue with the good build-up play. I think this was straight after the throw-in, and it's going to be Traore to get his second goal of the match. The decision to start a 78 overall striker may be controversial to some, but proving to be effective for us in this Champions League final. With this back at a 2-goal lead, we can be a bit more creative and open with our build-up play. It's going to be Traore to get his hat-trick 62 minutes into this match. It's going to take the end of this save for Traore to stop scoring. Nothing else is going to get in the way. But as we move toward the later stages of this match, I think it's only going to end in one result. Liverpool still trying to push defenders forward and close the gap a little bit, but it's only going to lead to another goal from us, a nice chip from Kudus. And in what will be the final gameplay highlight of this career mode, it's none other than Traore selling the defender one way, going the other, and getting us our 6th goal of the match, his 4th goal in this fixture. Shout out to Traore, man. I feel like if we had to rank the strikers that we use in this career mode, whether that be Tadic, Suarez, or Traore, you have to put Traore at number 1 purely in terms of goal contribution. But this win will complete the treble for us in Season 3. What an end to the Ajax career mode. And when I was contemplating who to assign as captain for this fixture, very well knowing that if we do get the result, they would be lifting the trophy, I decided to go with Kudus. He surprisingly has not lifted a trophy up to this point, and I think he is very much on his path to be one of Ajax's best players. Certainly the best for us in Season 3 in terms of growth and goal contribution, so this is a deserved trophy celebration for him. I want to say thanks to all of you that have been following this career mode since Season 1. We still have the end of season recap to cover, taking a look at some of the final logistics in this save, but I hope I was able to make all you Ajax fans proud and show an interesting perspective in doing this career mode. This may be one of the biggest points leads that we've had at the top of the Eredivisie, finishing with 95 points. Unfortunately, we did pick up a loss in the first half of the season, but we'll actually experience a switch up in the top 4, PSV and Feyenoord in 2nd and 3rd, but Utrecht finishing 4th rather than AZ. The bottom half of the table didn't have too much of a points difference in terms of the teams that finished there, but it was Vitesse, Sparta Rotterdam, and Waalwijk who were bottom 3. Kudus was by and far the standout player for Season 3, and as a result, he was also the top scorer for the club, 29 goals from 49 matches. An impressive ratio for Traore though, 21 goals from him across 21 matches, and Klaassen again featuring in the top 3, 19 goals from 42 matches. Kudus was also the top assist maker, 19 assists from 49 matches, Klaassen in 2nd, 16 assists from 42, and Suarez in 3rd with 7 assists from 38. Kudus will complete the hat trick. He went 3 for 3 as the #1 player, also experiencing the most growth this season, a +6, as well as Kartaski going up a +4 and Vlachodimos going up +4. Klaassen did, however, manage to finish joint top as the top scorer in the Eredivisie. 16 goals for him, Zahavi, and Riet. But we'll also see some appearances in the top 15 from Suarez in 6th, 14 goals from 26, Kudus in 8th, 14 goals from 30, and finally Tadic in 12th, 11 goals from 24. And again, impressive numbers from Klaassen, top assist player in the Eredivisie, 15 assists from 33 matches. We've also got Kudus in there, 8 assists from 30. And again, we'll go 3 for 3 here as we had the most clean sheets in the league. Vlachodimos, 22 clean sheets from 34 matches. We'll recap some of the other competitions. We, of course, did finish as the Oranje winners, defeating AZ in the final 6-1. Another 6-1 result for us in the Champions League as we defeated Liverpool. And it was a 1-0 win for Arsenal in the final of the Europa League as they defeated Leicester City in an all-English final. We'll take a final look at our youth academy, and while we definitely have some high overall players in here, it was really just Calpers that we featured in this career mode. I think that was mostly due to the limited 3-season timeline. Generally speaking, it's been cool to see players progress season by season. I feel like each year we had a different Ajax player step up. Of course, this season was Kudus, but in season 1, it was Tadic, and I would argue season 2 was kind of Suarez. And I'm also glad that we were able to see both Suarez and Tadic at the best in their career. They have, of course, since started to decline in their rating, but with this being the end of the career mode, we won't have to see the sad day of them retiring. A quick look through board objectives. We did complete this career mode with a 93 manager rating. Not bad by any means, fulfilling the youth development objective of signing a couple of youth academy players. For brand exposure, we did achieve the 12 wins in home league matches, but we did not focus on signing a crucial midfielder. Financially, we did manage to keep player salary growth under 20%, also completing the domestic objective of winning league title and the Oranje for the first time, and continentally, we did win the Champions League finals, so another checklist there. I do want to give a big shout out to channel members. If you are interested in learning more about the membership program, there's a link in the description talking all about it. You get a couple of cool features like being able to use emotes in chat as well as in the comments section, and you get a badge next to your YouTube channel name. So definitely consider doing that if you are interested. But here is how this Ajax squad will finish in this career mode. Again, for the final time, I want to say a massive thanks for all the support shown on this series. I wouldn't be able to do it without you all, whether it be through getting involved with the press conference questions, providing some transfer suggestions, or just encouragement along the way. Hopefully I'll see some of y'all for the next career mode series on the channel. That'll be starting very soon. But if you have enjoyed today's video, make sure to leave a like, subscribe if you're new. But until next time, this has been Flick. I'll be talking to y'all again soon.